Local Labour councils are scrapping their embedded Home Office immigration enforcers to end the hostile environment to illegal immigrants. The UK seems to have pretty much the same problem as the US in terms of illegal immigration, in that left-wing politicians don't seem to recognise it as a crime or even as a problem. And a report by The Guardian says that Labour councils are now removing the Home Office immigration enforcers that they have embedded within the local authorities after councillors and Labour Party members have called for an end to the policies that created the so-called hostile environment towards illegal immigrants. Can you believe that? The Guardian reported, embedded officials sit in on meetings between councils and vulnerable migrant families and ensure the Home Office is made aware of each person that registers for emergency funds. They can also pass information to immigration enforcement officers and have been accused of encouraging undocumented migrants to leave the UK voluntarily and of providing poor advice that would damage applications to stay in the country. How dare Home Office enforcement officers encourage people who are here illegally to leave the country? Campaign groups say destitute migrant families can be put off from asking councils for support, fearing that the involvement of Home Office officials can mean immigration action will be taken against them. Quote, their job is to enforce the government-made laws, not to help people, a Labour source said. It is not the responsibility of Labour councils to be informing on vulnerable migrants when they come to us seeking shelter and support. But whether they're vulnerable or not isn't really the issue here. If they're here illegally, then why should these people be getting any kind of assistance from a local authority that we pay for in the first place? Now, some might say that I'm being inhumane towards these people, but why aren't we being humane to the people that pay the bloody taxes? How can we afford to keep giving free services to people who just don't pay into the system? And if this is okay, by the way, is there a limit? How many people are we allowed to accept? 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million? I mean, how many people exactly are we going to allow to access public services paid for by people, other than then people who've paid into the system their whole lives and who are here legally? This lunacy is so prevalent now, it's really shocking. The Mayor of Lewisham, Damien Egan, has confirmed that Lewisham Council will be removing its embedded official to reassure vulnerable migrants that Lewisham will support them. That's good to know. And in the past, by the way, he's gone much further than that. He said that Lewisham will become a sanctuary borough, kind of like a sanctuary city in the US. In the Mayor's annual report from 2018, it says, over the next 4 years, working together with our community, our target is to welcome a further 100 refugee families into Lewisham as we become a sanctuary borough for migrants and London's lead borough in refugee resettlement. Even in times of austerity, Lewisham is showing that by working together we can make a difference. And it was in their local Labour manifesto too, so even in times of austerity is what they're saying, a time when we have to cut back on public spending because we just don't have the money, Lewisham Labour is still committed to spending millions of pounds on people who have no legal right to be here and claim these services in the first place. And Lewisham isn't the only place involved with this madness either. Southwark Council in London's gotten rid of their Home Office embedded immigration enforcement official as well. Millions of pounds are being spent by local councils on people with irregular migration status, and now members of Lewisham and Deptford constituency party, they've submitted a motion to a regional party conference in March that calls for embedded Home Office officials to be removed immediately from every single Labour-controlled council in the UK. The Labour Party just gets more extreme by the minute. They've got this ongoing anti-Semitism crisis that they're of course trying to bury. They always seem to be connected to violent protests somehow, and now there are proposals for councils to continue spending millions of pounds on people with, quote, irregular migration status, meaning, of course, illegal immigrants. Local Labour activists have put forward a motion to a conference next month to remove every single one of the Home Office embedded immigration enforcement officers from local councils, and Lewisham and Southwark have already gotten rid of theirs. The Labour Party is actively campaigning against the people who are legally here in the UK, paying their taxes, paying into the system, doing their bit, which leaves me wondering, who exactly does the Labour Party represent anymore? As far as I can see, Corbyn's Labour Party cares more about illegal Islamists who hate Jews. What about John Smith from a working class town who's concerned about the safety of his family's community, a future for his kids, a quality education and good public services? I guess that's just too much to ask for these days. We're not funded by the government, we don't have big sponsors, and we certainly don't have massive donors. If you'd like to help support our work, please go to rebeldonations.com/thebuck.